That's how we do it. That's how we started off. Christian Myers back on the trumpet this morning. All right, here we go. Standing outside the door of love and mercy, you wonder if there's a place there for you. You know there's peace inside, and still searching for someone who understands the pain you've been through. With a Father waits with open arms, He's calling out your name. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved to belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, come on in, come on in. You'll find a place of rest in illumination, where God within you helps you to light your way. He knows the peace you need, the hurt you're feeling. He knows to hold you in, to wipe your tears away. With the doors unlocked, the lights are on. What are you waiting for? Come on in, welcome home. You are loved to belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, come on in. There is room enough in this home of love for someone just like you. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved to belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, welcome home. You are loved to belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, come on in, yeah, come on in. All right, all right, all right. Julia, welcome to the platform.
Oh, well, this is my first time, so I'm going to go with the flow and hope for the best, okay? Well, first off, for those of you who are joining us from the Facebook, YouTube land, a friendly welcome goes out to you because I know the Facebook group really goes far and wide, even to foreign countries. So we're glad you're here. And for those of you who are here live with us this morning, a friendly welcome goes out to you as well. Now at this time, well, first off, well, you already heard my name. It's Julia Thornborough. Okay, so we don't have to do that. What I would like to know is, do we have any visitors here for the first time? A friendly welcome. Well, we have ambassadors who are going to be giving you a flower. Following the service, go back to the table in the back, and we will be giving you a Unity t-shirt. Now, if at the end of the service, you feel, gosh, you know, I like the vibe, I like the energy, I like the messaging, Jeffrey will be outside on the patio with a table there to answer any questions on how you could become involved in what I feel is a pretty vibrant and exciting community. And for any of you who are visiting us for the first time in the Facebook YouTube arena, we send a welcome to you as well. However you found us, we're glad you're here. Now at this time we're going to have some announcements, and you will find them in the Sunday Bulletin, the email newsletter, and if you have not received a newsletter, then go to unitytampa.org and sign up. And you will find all the information there in the newsletter. We have a Facebook and a website, and so check out all of the information there. Now at this time, if you would be so kind to check your cell phones. Make sure the ringers are off or you have them on vibrate. The last thing we want is for meditation to be happening and we have surprises. So let's turn those off. Thank you. Well, this past Sunday was the Gasparilla cleanup, and we had the Earth Care group there in force doing a great job. So for all of you who participated in the cleanup of Gasparilla this past Sunday, would you please stand so you can be acknowledged? Well, I want you to know you are totally fabulous. And you know, one thing I did mention about the new members is that at the table in the back, we have Unity t-shirts. And for the congregants, they're $10. And so whenever we have events like the Earth Care this past Sunday, they can become a marketing tool. So if you would like to get a Unity t-shirt, they're in the back. Colors, you know, pick out whatever color works for you, and they're $10. And also, this next Sunday on February the 19th, there is going to be a blood drive. The bus will be out there in the patio from 10 to 1, so mark that on your calendar, and it will be happening next on the 19th. Now also, on Saturday, February the 25th, we always like to have our facilities look vibrant and fabulous, and there is going to be a paint day. And it's going to be happening from 9 to 2. So anyone who wants to sign up, feel free to do so, and your expertise and help will be woefully welcome.
No sign up necessary, just show up.
Just show up. Okay? Okay, just know you're vibrant, you're welcome, and your help will be woefully appreciated. So just, you know, show up. And then also on the Sunday the 26th, there is going to be our annual meeting following the service at noon. So it'll be right here in the sanctuary. So do feel free to come for that.
Julia, it's all with the board. I'll be back answering questions about the board. We'll discuss it. I'm back.
Okay.
Construction board.
Okay, so, well, okay, there's a new construction board, okay, so we're doing some vibrant things here at Unity, and so Jeffrey will be in the back to show this is the exciting new vision that we have for us. So there's always something new, always something exciting, and Jeffrey will be able to explain that. Now, on Sunday, let's see, no, we have that. We've run that, so let me see. Now, I'm sure all of you have heard of and are familiar with Cinco de Mayo, okay, which always happens every year on May 5th, okay? Well, here at Unity, we like to spice things up and put a new twist on things. Okay, I don't know if Candace Graham is here this morning. Okay, Candace is heading up the Social Light team, and on Sunday, March 5th, we are having Cinco de Marzo. All right, so, Candace, with her leadership, always puts a fun twist on things. So it's going to be happening after the service. There's going to be barbecue, face painting, and as the details get more fine-tuned, more will be forthcoming. But mark your calendar, March 5th, for a fun day. Do we have any birthdays this week? I know we do. We have. Wait a minute.
Welcome, one of our visitors' birthdays. Welcome,
Oh,
and happy birthday.
well, happy birthday. What now? Okay, the birthdays that are happening this week are Lara Haywood. Well, I'll tell you what, it's an exciting week. Okay, Faye Jonas and Jose Gazano. So if you would, let's all sing happy birthday.
Let's sing it to him.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, God loves you. Happy birthday to you.
And there is one slide that I would like to bring up, and that is a thank you to our snack angels. You know, every Sunday we have the most amazing spread over in Fellowship Hall, and that absolutely would not happen if we did not have the support of our snack angels. So for those of you here for the first time, join us over in Fellowship Hall. And I know all of you as congregants who are regulars, you know we have great food. So join us over in Fellowship Hall. And with that, Nancy, is there anything else that needs to be addressed? Yeah? Okay, all right, good. Thank you.
Thanks, Julia.
Okay, good.
Wow, how about that? Julia, welcome to the platform. So good morning. Oh, you guys are so energetic today. I'm excited. You're off. You're off. Woo! I actually have the button on, so are there no batteries here? I have me on. On? That's off. You're probably batteryless. Okay. Thank you. Nobody telling me I'm off. We can hear you. Is that the way to start my day? You're off. All right. Let me have that hand mic going. I don't want our online audience to think I don't care about them. Okay, can you hear me now? Well, wait, what am I doing here? Okay, hold on a minute. You're on, you're off, you're on, you're off. Can we turn me down? Okay, I'm going to start again for the new people who think I've lost my mind. Good morning. Are we having a good morning? All right, so many cool things to talk about today. Ray and Vicky came over from the East Coast. Esther conveniently flew in from Holland. So Esther, who's been watching us from Holland, is now officially here in Tampa. So, if you have any pinwheel cookies, bring them for her. I think we'll make her feel very welcome. Yeah, she's joined 2 teams and is volunteering. You can't even beat that. Well, I'm so happy to see everybody. How many of you saw the pictures outside of the new building? Yeah? So if you didn't see them when you leave, go out, look on your right. We put all the pictures from the architect up for everybody to see of what the next remodel will be. So just quick update. The new children's building, we're only about 6 weeks away, we hope, from having it delivered. We're just waiting for another permit and a foundation. The building's done and waiting to be dropped off. So that's really cool news. Then we'll have our 3 classrooms. Then we'll start on Fellowship Hall. So look at the pictures. We're going to vote on which thing we're doing at the end of February. I also want to thank Janice for helping step in today for Patrick. Thanks for picking up flowers and helping us. I appreciate that. Facebook audience, we love you. We appreciate you and love all the comments you put on. So thank you for always communicating with us. Oh, we picked up Montgomery, Alabama. So welcome. I know this is just getting so awesome. I love it. And Herta, who watches us from Germany and supports us, thank you. When you see this, I hope you know how much we appreciate you. All right, with all of that said, our job here is to build spiritual value. So let's get down to business. And let's start with our affirmation. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And our daily word today is caught under the book. All right. And Melody left me with no page mark. I'll have to talk to that young lady. All right. Sunday, healing. It says, my faith is making me well. Unity co-founder Myrtle Fillmore's healing journey began when she changed her mind. Inspired by the words of healing practitioner, she took this affirmation to heart and said, I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. After 2 years of persistent health-affirming meditation, prayer, and practice, Myrtle was healed. Her faith made her well. Myrtle Fillmore lived joyously and vigorously for many years. I take inspiration from this story too. I am living my expression of God. I feel my body's quickening response as I claim my inheritance of divine life. Vibrantly active in every cell of my body, good nutrition, exercise, and rest support my healing practice. My faith is making me well. And from Mark 5, he said to her, daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease. Interesting story about Myrtle that I just learned in the past week. So once she was healed, she absolutely refused to be treated as though she was ever sick. So she fell and broke her hip and would not accept a wheelchair. And they were trying to tell her, you're in your 90s, we need to get you in a wheelchair. And she said no, so they took a rocking chair, put wheels on it, and she was willing to be put in a rocking chair with wheels, but not in a wheelchair. And I thought, I could totally get that mindset. I totally relate to her, and I thought it was awesome. All right, I'm turning it over to our awesome band. Christian, you did a great job this morning. Thank you for that. We really appreciated that. Yeah, it's nice to see you. And I want to thank Michael and Elliot, of course, and Alvon. And we have David now, who's doing double time today. He's selling T-shirts and he's working the booth, so thank you. The sound booth, and of course, thanks to Duncan and Michael Williams. You were looking mighty fine out there, I heard today. So thanks for, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, and thanks to everybody who makes Sunday happen around here.
We're going to sing God is My Source. Will you guys stand and sing this with me? Here we go. This is a nice little call and response. You can sing it right with us.
God is my source.
God is my source.
God is my power.
God is my power.
Gives me everything I need. So I give thanks.
I give thanks
for all my blessings.
for all my blessings.
God gives me everything I need. Love is my source.
Love is my source.
Love is my power.
Love is my power.
Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks.
Oh, I give thanks
for all my blessings.
for all my blessings.
Love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source.
my source.
Peace is my power.
Peace is my power.
Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks.
Oh, I give thanks
for all my blessings.
for all my blessings.
Gives me everything I God is my source.
God is my source.
Joy is my power.
Joy is my power.
Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks.
I give thanks
for all my blessings.
all my blessings.
Joy gives me everything I need. God is my source.
God is my source.
God is my power.
God is my power.
Gives me everything I need. So I give thanks.
I give thanks
For all my blessings,
all my blessings.
God gives me everything I need. Yeah, God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
All right.
Up over here. If they weren't awake before, they are now. All right, so I have two great good news stories, or maybe two great news stories, however you want to look at that. So this first one, some of you may already know about him, but I love his story. He's 24-year-old Jimmy Donaldson. You may know him better as Mr. Beast on YouTube. And he uses his proceeds for good in this world. So his most recent achievement was to give 1,000 people from all over the world their eyesight. He was able to help people get cataract surgery in places where they didn't even have that available. And he was able to have not only help people get their sight back, but afterwards, he was able to give some of them $10,000 each to be able to go on with their life and to do good things. He donated $200,000 to eye surgery clinics so they could continue this initiative. But what I love about his story is that it's bigger than a one-off activity. He has been posting videos since he was 13 years of age. At the time, it was all about popular video games and crazy stunts, but he achieved all of this following that allowed him to get all this sponsorship and decided to use this money for good. So he has 130 million subscribers at age 24. He is the fourth largest channel in the world. And he's 24. Did I say that twice? Okay. Over time, he diversified. He's raised millions. He has a team of 30 people, all high school friends. And he gained the title of YouTube's biggest philanthropist in 2018 after giving out $1 million through his outlandish stunts and challenges. In 2021, Forbes listed him as the highest earning YouTube creator with an income of $54 million per year. So one of the things he did that I loved was he did a project called Team Trees with a NASA engineer, and for every dollar they collected, they planted a tree. 24 million trees were planted as a result. He has Beast Philanthropy, a separate YouTube channel created by him, and they donate 100% of their advertising revenue and their merchandise sales to charities. He has Team Seas, SEAS, for ocean conservancy and cleanup, and he's raised $30 million to clean up our oceans. My favorite ending to this story is that he was born in Kansas, raised in South Carolina, middle-class family, and spends most of his money on other people. He says he's happy living a meager lifestyle as long as he's able to make a positive impact. And his mom, this is the best part, his mom kicked him out of the house in 2016 when he quit East Carolina University to pursue a full-time career as a YouTuber. And we're all pretty sure his mom regrets ever saying anything to him. All right, the second story I do want to share, but it's a video, so I just want to show the video.
Finally tonight, attending a new school can be difficult for anyone. But for one teenager in Tennessee, walking into his new school completely changed his life. Here's CBS's David Begnaud.
Meet 15-year-old Sergio Peralta. He's the new kid at school, and he started the year with a secret.
In the first days of school, I honestly felt like hiding my arm in my sleeve. Like, nobody will ever find out, you know?
I would like flex this joint.
You see, Sergio was born with a hand that didn't fully form. So a teacher at the Hendersonville High School engineering program found out, and he told him, "My students might be able to help you." And that's when 3 of them did something special.
Well, they ended up offering me, like, we could build you a prosthetic hand, and I never expected it. Like, never in a million years I expected it.
With access to online models and a 3D printer, these teenagers, who didn't even know if their plan would work, hit a home run.
When I caught it the first time, everyone started freaking out because, like, the first time I caught a ball in my right hand in 15 years.
Look, school can be cruel, but these kids, they did the coolest and the kindest thing.
They changed my life, you know.
For their newest peer. David Begnaud, CBS News.
Isn't that great? My favorite part about this story was that it was kids. That kids who figured out how to help him. Let's get ready for meditation.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and
such a beautiful message. Preparing ourselves to be a sanctuary for good, to express our best. I encourage you to breathe in, take a few deep breaths, taking in all the positive energy in this room, the blessing of all these amazing people and faces, the joy in our hearts of coming together on Sunday to practice our spiritual best. And as you just continue to breathe, allow the words that I share to enter your heart as they are appropriate for you on this day. As I begin my day, I focus on the good that I will bring, not just to this day, but to every day. Seeking divine wisdom to guide myself and my efforts. When I approach my day by thinking about ways I can bring my divine best to the world, I am serving in a capacity for the good of all and not just myself. It is easy to think only about what is best for me today and what I need to do, what I need to eat, where I need to go, what I need to be happy. But there's so much more to the role I play as a spiritual being, sharing a planet with others. It's through smiling and building relationships and listening to people and opening our hearts that I can better understand the needs of others in order to find ways that I can be useful and serve. When I help create a world that supports all people, wherever they are on their journey, I experience my highest good, and in turn bring out the divine best in them. Self-fulfilling experiences may be personally satisfying, but they do little for the world. The greatest gifts come from placing God and others before myself. If a 24-year-old can start at age 13 to figure out how to help the world, so can I. There is a reason for my existence beyond me experiencing life. I'm here to make a difference. And I can best reveal that through understanding my purpose and my gifts. Through prayer and self-reflection, I draw forth the wisdom to guide my life with greater purpose. Reminding myself that I am a co-creator with Spirit as I respond to and interact with life. I rest in the silence now and await the divine wisdom meant for me. as I allow myself to continue to open my heart to the lessons before me. I recognize the good that I'm already bringing to this world, the love that I'm capable of expressing. And in this moment in time, I am at peace. And so it is. Good morning, Logan. So last Sunday, we focused on positively impacting others. But if we're going to have a positive impact on other people, we need to figure out how we can achieve our best self. Because you can't have a positive impact if you aren't in your best self. So that's where we're going to focus our attention today. So last weekend, Jeffrey, Melody, and I, we just had to run an errand, and we decided we were going to grab dinner while we were out. So we found a restaurant we hadn't been to, and we were able to sit outdoors on the patio. So a man pulls up on his bicycle, and he's literally 10 feet from where we're sitting, and he has these paper sacks in the basket on his bike. I perceived that as maybe him being an Uber driver, you know, because a lot of places I travel for my corporate job, there are bicyclists because the cities are crowded and they can't always ride with cars. So that's what I thought he had because the bags were very nice and crisp. But Melody perceived something else. She perceived that he was homeless, hungry, and looking for food. So Melody watched him carefully as others looked away to avoid engaging with him. The restaurant manager came out and inquired as to what he needed, and it became really evident very quickly that he was deaf. And so they gave him a piece of paper and asked him to write down what he needed. Melody, of course, still watching him, paying attention to everything he did. Finally, a server comes out, and she knew sign language, so they started communicating with him. And Melody asked for a box for her, the other half of her hamburger and her fries, and she asked if she could give it to him. And I said, sure. So she goes over to him to give him the food, and the man, in sign language, it was very evident that he was saying to her, I can't take food from a child's mouth. So Melody kept insisting, but he wouldn't do it, and he thanked her repeatedly for being so kind to him. So our server came over, and she said, don't worry about it. I'll make sure he gets some food, because he didn't want Melody to worry. And Jeffrey asked her, will you have to pay for the food? He asked the server, and she said, yes. If I get him food from here, I'll have to pay for it, but I don't mind. She said, I was once homeless. So Jeffrey gave her $20 in addition to our bill and above her tip, and we asked her to make sure that he was given food. As we walked away, going back to the car, I complimented Melody and thanked her for being so kind, and she said, this was so profound that I actually cried. She said, well, aren't we all God's children? Aren't we all God's family? And she remembered the song we sang up here on Christmas, that we're all part of God's family. And while she's always demonstrated her personal best when it comes to her musical endeavors and academics, and she's always written about by her teachers for being kind, I promise you, this was the first moment that I understood that she was embracing spiritual principles. And by spiritual, I don't mean that she just said God, but that she understood the importance of paying attention to the needs of others on the planet that we share with other people. That, to me, was more important than the word God. Our commitment, all of us, our commitment to bringing out the best in our own selves requires us understanding the needs of everybody, not just us. And I love what the Dalai Lama says, because he put it this way. He said, because we all share this small planet Earth, we must learn to live in harmony and peace with each other and with nature. This shouldn't be a dream, it is a necessity. We are dependent on each other in so many ways that we can no longer live in our isolated communities and ignore what is happening outside of our communities. He said we need to help each other when we have difficulties. We must share the good fortune that we enjoy. I speak to you as just another human being, as a simple monk. If you find what I say useful, then I hope you will try to practice it. Now, I believe, fully believe with all my heart, that achieving our personal best requires us having some kind of foundation for ourselves to measure ourselves against. Otherwise, on a daily basis, how do we know if we're hitting that mark of being more than about ourselves? So for me, it breaks down to three things: civility, spiritual principles, and personal values. Civility being number one, because it feeds the other two. I believe civility, lack of civility, is the biggest problem we face right now on a daily basis. Let's understand first what civility means, and the best definition I have found is D.S. Leader, who said civility is about taking care of your needs, others' needs, and the needs of the situation you're in at the time. I want you to think for a minute as I just give you some highlights of where lack of civility exists right now. There have been 52 mass shootings since the 1st of January in our country. 52. 11% of them occurred right here in Florida. People throughout our country are grieving the death of Tyree Nichols. A man drove his family off a cliff this week in California, and a woman in desperation last week before, killed 2 of her 3 children before she jumped out a window trying to kill herself. In Vermont this past week, a fight broke out between adults at a middle school basketball game, and a 60-year-old man died. Ironically, outside that school was this sign, a quote from the Dalai Lama, no less: "Be kind whenever possible, and it is always possible." It's pretty evident to me that people are not getting their needs met in our world. People all around us are struggling. Some of us are struggling. But who knows? And how do we help? In the book Mastering Civility, Christine Porath described the fundamental practices of civility, which are shocking, as smiling, building relationships with people, and listening to others. Simple things we all learned when we were little kids. Simple things. She talks about how it's also important to ensure that we ourselves are being treated with civility. And she said that sometimes if we don't pay attention to ourselves being treated with civility, we turn around and we take all that anger out to other people. So when you're asking for a manager in a store, or you're complaining to the customer service rep on the phone, what may have happened to you earlier that day that you decided to take your hostility out on someone else? A week ago, Coley sent me a story about a rude customer who demanded that the restaurant post a warning sign informing people that they have special needs employees working there. So the owner of the restaurant heeded the advice and posted this sign, probably my favorite of the news I saw. We are proud to be an equal opportunity employer and hire all God's children. Isn't that great? Yeah. I loved it. For me, that sign combines civility with the importance of us operating with spiritual principles, which is our second area of focus today. Now, for me, two of the principles that Unity preaches and teaches are in that sign. One, that all humans are the light and life of God. All humans have a spark of divinity. And that each of us, which is principle number 5, that each of us makes a difference when we live our truth from that place of our divine self. And of course, if we're looking for a set of spiritual principles, the 5 that we teach here and talk about all the time can help us, all 5. But in that sign, 2 of them were very evident for me. Our third category to focus on is personal values. And I've never found a set that I like better than the paradoxical commandments that Dr. Kent Keith, I always want to call him Keith Kent, Kent Keith wrote back in the 1960s. So he wrote these because his students were having a hard time understanding the turmoil of the 60s. And they didn't understand why the world wasn't changing fast enough to make an improvement. So he wrote these for them, and I'm going to share them with you on these 2 slides as I read them. People are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. If you are successful, you will win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. The biggest men and women with the biggest ideas can be shot down by the smallest men and women with the smallest minds. Think big anyway. People favor underdogs but follow only top dogs. Fight for a few underdogs anyway. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight. Build anyway. People really need help but may attack you if you do help them. Help people anyway. Give the world the best you have and you'll get kicked in the teeth. Give the world the best you have anyway. So for me, these reflect a lot of spiritual principles. Love people regardless. Do the right thing no matter what happens. Do your best. Bring your best game to the world. But in many ways, it also reflects something I heard 10 years ago in seminary. There was a writing from a reverend who was also a dean. Her name was Galina Kraskova. She shared this during my interfaith journey. She said, "You are called to go out there and make a difference. You are called to be a force for righting the pain, imbalance, and disease of our society. You are called to be warriors of the light." She then shared a quote from the Talmud, which is part of Judaism. "You are not expected to complete this task. Neither are you permitted to lay it down. What will enable you to persevere in the face of that sacred duty is your connection to the divine. Do not ever take it for granted or allow it to grow fallow. It will sustain you." The message reminds me of our efforts, all of our efforts, on a daily basis. We may never fix things, but we should never stop. We should never stop trying to make a difference. And we should always see ourselves as warriors of the light. Everything we do is an ongoing, never-ending process if we're planning on ever achieving our personal best. Let's review today's lessons. Achieving our personal best requires the following. Number one, demonstrate civility, recognize the needs of ourselves and others. Number two, embrace spiritual principles, take a divine approach to daily life. Number three, identify and monitor personal values. Rate your behaviors against your values. Number four, maintain continuous improvement. Seek ways to learn and grow every day. And our affirmation today is, I am achieving my personal best. Let's say that together. I am achieving my personal best. I'm going to hold you to that. Our quote today is from Joel Small. Each time we achieve our new personal best, we expand the limitations of our being until the limitations no longer exist. Let's take that in for a moment. So we pause to reflect on the importance of wanting to achieve our personal best, recognizing that age is not a factor, to start doing something now, to find ways when we pay attention to the needs of others as much as we pay attention to our own needs, where we recognize the importance of civility, coming back into a world that has forgotten at times to stand by its fellow man. For all the gifts we've been given in this lifetime in our divinity, we say thank you, God. Amen. If you have prayer needs, we are here to pray for you. We have a really great group of chaplains, and whether they're present or not, they pray for everybody every day. So we have several chaplains here today. Is Joanne here today? There you are. I thought I saw you earlier, and then I couldn't see you. So Joanne and Linda are here. I don't think Norma's here today. And Bronwyn's our backup chaplain when she's not managing Reiki for us. So thank you, Bronwyn, for all you do for us. I also want to pay attention to our blessing, our giving affirmation. I couldn't get the words out. I was like, I know it's prosperity consciousness, but what's the other? So we're going to say our affirmation because we believe in this, not only for ourselves, which hopefully you say it as I when you're home, and we when you're here. So let's say it together and see our prosperity consciousness growing. My eyes are closed. We have faith in God as our instant, constant, abundant supply and supplier. We have faith in God to open ways when to the human sense there is no way. We have faith in God to guide us in all our ways. And our health, happiness, and prosperity are assured. Thank you, God, for your abundant good, now flowing forth to meet our every need. And so it is. And we're in for a real treat. Elliot is going to sing one of, children. Oh, Heather was hiding. Oh, come on in.
Feeling good, like I should. Went and took a walk around my neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. I got the sunshine on my Sunday best.
Thank you, Elliot. All right, so we started our new Power of the Month today. We're talking about strength this month. And so the older kids had a good conversation about what does that mean? What is it? When do we have to have it? Or when does it help us? And how do we do it? We also have completed our Valentine's surprise. So come next week and you might get something special.
She's showing them. So today, the power of the month is strength. So we talked about times that they, so far in their life, have felt strength to their meaning of it. So they gave examples of like when they help carry groceries for their family, they feel strong. Or when they're picking up heavy things, they feel strong, and times like that.
Thank you.
Dennis. 1, 2, 3,
'em. I'm going to invite up Mavi to sing the peace song with us. We're going to have her add a little harmony this morning for a little something different. Will you guys stand and sing it with us? Stand.
the peace that was meant to be with God as creator. Family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
And now let's join together in saying the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is great. Thank you all for being here today. Have a wonderful week.